Awesome. Okay, I do not hear anybody's Twitch ringing back to me, so I think we're good on that.
Good sign.
Yeah, yeah, immediately a good sign. And I think we are. Yeah, I'm seeing some people talk in the chat. You guys can see the chat on the side of the Twitch stream.
We can. Are they
Awesome.
gonna? They're gonna be nice, yeah. They're not
Oh
gonna.
yeah, yeah. So the cool thing about this show is the only people who know about it are people who like me. Um, Someday that may not be the
Well,
case.
yeah.
And if they like
Go that
me,
way.
I kind of want to deal with some trolls. That might be fun, actually.
yeah,
Like, oh, you guys suck, and then we have to come up with a good, you know,
yeah, yeah,
hit back.
yeah. You have to, yeah. You got to be quick on your feet. I think, honestly, if you want them to troll, the thing about liking somebody is being what they need in a given moment, right? So if somebody
Exactly.
needs a troll in their life, just take on that character. Be water, dear friends. Enter the vessel.
Are we opening Pandora's box here, though? I
Who
mean, I've
knows?
asked for
Honestly,
trolling. Is it
that
going to be more than I bargained for?
well,
I think probably.
honestly, another thing though, you can just close the chat. You don't have to see it anymore.
Ooh,
That's a cool
can
thing.
I read out one comment I've seen already?
Absolutely, yeah.
It says, "Ha ha, T-Rex thinks we like him." Awkward, I assume that means.
There's a yeah. Felix learned how to use the
Oh,
chat,
what?
you guys.
Wait, I know that guy. I know Felix.
No relation. Coincidence.
Awesome. I think we are officially live. Nobody's microphones are feeding back. Nobody seems to be out of sync with the stream or the rest of the universe. Bug is enough troll for us all. They ban him regularly, which is strange. Banning implies you only have to do it once, which we all know is not the case. But yeah, I want to take a moment, of course, obviously, to start off by thanking you guys, the Parasocials, for joining me, for agreeing to chat with me about your new EP and share it in its entirety with the folks who are listening. And I want to take a moment to thank everyone who's taking time on their Saturday to listen. It's Saturday where you guys live too, right? No, yeah, it's only like 5 or 6 hours ahead from here.
No, it's Monday here.
It's Monday. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's how it works.
It's last Monday. Yeah, I just
And we're the English. We invented Monday, so that means that's when it is.
it's Monday all the time. Yeah, yeah.
You're wrong.
Yeah, but yeah, thanks for being on. As anybody who is watching knows, usually the show is kind of thematic about just kind of indie artists and what we do and don't like about the world and our time making music. And that's fun, but this is going to be a special episode where we're going to listen to the entirety of this new EP, this yet unreleased, I think, EP, officially unreleased, maybe.
It's out on Bandcamp, and
Yeah.
it probably should be out on Spotify as well. But
Yeah.
that's a story for
Yeah,
for
yeah.
later, I think.
Spotify's tricky. It's a little bit of a labyrinth. I get it. But before we do get into the first track, I want to give you guys some time. Tell me some more about the Parasocials. Last time I spoke to Tomer on the show, I think the Parasocials was an idea that was coming around, but it had not started yet. So that's only been a few months. So it's cool to see you guys have already produced such a fantastic, EP in such a short time. So tell me about it. Tell me about the forming of the band.
Who wants to take this then?
Doesn't start with me, so I don't know the beginning. So
I think
put
George was
tracks
in
to someone else
before me,
take it.
so-
Okay.
Oh,
George said earlier he wanted to talk about it, so we'll let
Oh,
George.
it was like I think Tom had invited me to an open mic at Bird's Nest probably about a year and a half ago now, before all the Corona stuff, and he didn't show up, but Alex did, and
This is not true.
Felix. That's where I met Felix, and yeah, we just kind of hit it off, and then I think from there, like we both Felix had been recording with Tom, and then I kind of joined Troop, and then I remember me and Tom tried to start something once, and I was on the bass, and I was playing bass like I was trying to do a Jimi Hendrix guitar solo throughout all the songs, and I think then that kind of demoted me to actual guitarist, and Alex took the reins on being the structural crux
Yeah.
of what a band really. And after that, we found Rob on Tinder. He was going to go.
Just casually browsing.
He was going to go for a few drinks with Felix, and it transpired that he was a drummer, and they kind of really hit it off and decided to him in to bring the forces to collide, and then that was kind of in the lockdown between times. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's
They've
awesome.
been
when you
together ever since. It's just lovely. Yeah.
I love long-term
we-
relationship stories that come out of social
know,
Tinder.
They're still together.
Yeah,
so
yeah, that's wonderful.
great,
That's
yeah.
beautiful.
Hey, sweetie.
Yeah.
Not romantic, of course, but they do engage in musical conversation, which is something that
that's it.
neither me or Tom can really understand the passions.
It may not
That's
be
true.
romantic, but it's definitely intimate.
Well,
Yeah.
Amen.
So we
Things
knew
we can
that
do
we were
with
going to
the
have Rob in the band when he turns up to the audition, and he's wearing shorts. And I said to him, "Oh, you're wearing shorts. This was what, October, November, or something?" And he was like, "I'm not going to do his accent.
They're gonna wear them all
He's
year
like-
round.
I only wear shorts." And we're like, "What?" We're like, "Surely that's a deal breaker." But he also had a really nice bright pink snag drum case.
I thought that's why you
And
chose
we were
me.
like, "Yeah, it's pink. We like
The
it."
Welsh spandex.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's wearing Welsh flag. I don't know if you've seen the Welsh flag, but it's a big dragon basically on a green field.
Yeah.
And Rob was basically
Oh, yeah.
wearing
It is.
that.
It's in the back.
Yeah,
wearing
you
that
can see
flag.
it.
Speedos.
Yeah, yeah.
With the Welsh
awesome.
dragon on. Nothing else.
Awesome. So it sounds like the band built itself to some extent, which is always kind of a good sign that good things are going to happen, you know. But so from that point, kind of the slow foundation of the band, did you do a lot of releasing and writing together before this EP, or is this kind of like the first thing you're publicly putting out there?
Well, I'd recorded Felix's first two EPs mainly because, well, me and him were friends, and he told me at the pub one day what his plan for recording his EP was. And he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm just gonna rent a rehearsal room, put a jack lead into the PA, put that into a computer, and that'll be my EP."
Yeah.
And I said to him, "Oh
What's that?
no, you can't do that. Look, I'll record it for you. It won't be good, but it will be better than if you do that."
Yeah, yeah.
And then we
That's-
made two
that's how the
EPs,
Beatles
and they were
did.
actually quite good.
Fun.
That's how the Beatles did their first album. It was just a jack lead from a PA. So,
Yeah.
and then after that, I think George wanted in on the action. So, I spent last year recording George's EP for him. And
Nice.
after all that, we figured, why not get together and actually work on an EP
Yeah, yeah.
together? And,
So you were
you know,
kinda
write
working
songs at the same time.
Yeah, yeah, you were working on like your individual projects in such proximity and regularity that it made sense to just kind of write the next batch with one another.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
fantastic. That's cool, man. Well, I want to let's get into the first song off this album, which I will let you tell me. Is this the single "Comatose"?
Yeah, this has been the single we've been promoting so far.
Yeah, yeah, because I've seen a video
so-
for it, so that usually to me indicates it's it's a single.
Yeah, it's definitely the lead single at the moment. Though I consider all the first three singles are
Yeah.
all lead singles because the first one is kind of my song, then it's going to be George's song, then it's Felix's song,
Yeah.
and it's not like any one of them is lead. It's just
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
you
yeah.
have to do it in a certain order.
I understand that completely.
But
And
yeah,
song's
that's the one
gonna
we've
be
been
on the
promoting. at the
B-sides.
moment. Yeah, Rob's got a song that he's working on, but it's going to be a few more years yet, I think. before-
Yeah.
Might be on the B side, maybe. I'm lucky.
Isn't that something people? You just brought up the Beatles a moment ago. Isn't that something they say about the Beatles? Is like Ringo got a song on every album, even though, you know, it's like he's not here to write songs, but we're gonna let him write at least one for every album. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
It's the
Yeah.
drummer's famous last words. Hey
I wrote a
guys,
song.
I've got a song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's listen to this song, you guys. I want to give you just another moment to introduce the song. I know this one. Well, you know, I was about to say like what I think the lyrics are about, but I think maybe you should just tell me.
Well, actually, even though this was a song I wrote instrumentally, mainly before I joined the band, lyrically, me and Felix sat down and bashed it out. And it's actually your phrase, isn't it? Comatose. Do
Yeah.
you want to explain what that means to you?
Yes, a lot or nothing really. I don't know. We're just kind of jamming it out, stream of consciousness kind of thing. And yeah, I thought I just kind of invented it. It's like what we were talking about before, like inventing a new phrase. I thought comatose was a new thing. But then I went back and heard a recording from like a few years ago of talking about something, and I said it again. And I think I actually just thought the word comatose. I just used to pronounce it as comatose,
Yeah.
like one of
yeah.
those non blooms. But anyway, so that was kind of the center point, and then I mean I'll give Toma the credit for actually crafting it into a coherent song. I was just kind of nodding along and throwing in a few
Yeah.
curveballs here and there, but you kind of give it a concept. Really.
Yeah.
It's like you gave me the word, and then I had to try and flesh it out. And you did ask me at one point, you're like, what does that mean? And I just sort of spewed some bullshit, and that became the meaning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
you come up with it first and get the meaning later.
that's
Yeah, exactly.
That's a really powerful way to work in like a group dynamic. Is like one person's just shooting out like raw ideas, and the other person's grabbing the ones they like most, and malleabling them into something useful. Yeah, awesome, man. Thank you. Let's listen to it, man. I'm going to actually mute my microphone completely. You guys are welcome to do the same, just to be sure. Hey, is any of that audio coming through? It is not. I'm sorry. My Twitch just told me that sound is not coming through. Sorry. Let me do this. Let me test something real quick.
Oh no, the echo. It's happening.
There it is. Okay.
You gotta do it a cappella.
I figured it out. I'm sorry. Let me I'll make some adjustments while I'm letting it play. Sorry, we're gonna start the song over. If you have any questions or comments during the song, please put them in the chat there, and I will we'll address those once we get through the song. I do not understand what is happening. The audio is not coming through from the browser. I'm sorry, guys. Why don't you tell me another story? When did you start wearing only shorts?
That is definitely a story I want to hear.
I think that one's worth it.
Come
Let's
on,
do
Rob.
that.
That's a good story.
It's about the Iceman, isn't it?
Yeah. You know Wim
Go on,
Hof?
tell everyone about the Iceman. Well, yeah, we know about
There's
it.
this guy called Wim Hof, who's this crazy Dutch guy who does things like run up to the death zone on Mount Everest in his shorts. And I thought, wow, this guy is cool.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm just trying to be him, trying to be a rip-off of Wim Hof.
Yeah.
And it's also. Oh, go on.
I'm pretty sure I read that guy. You can't just be like him. He's got like a special condition.
I was going to say the same thing. He has like a superpower.
He doesn't.
Yeah.
No, he's got a twin brother who can't do it, and then they've checked them.
That doesn't mean
like the same.
like,
He
twins
doesn't
can
have.
be different.
You can do it through training. You can teach other people to do it.
No,
also,
he's just trying to sell
yes,
you.
you can.
He's trying to sell you his
No,
manual for doing it.
All right, my mate's girlfriend's
Hang on.
dad, right? He learnt to do it in the space of a week, having cold showers.
You can do
living
it
in Swansea.
No,
Was it
George,
summer?
tell me about that guy.
Hold on.
He froze to death.
Was it summertime? Because it's really easy to learn how to wear shorts in the summertime.
Yeah, but it was Swansea. It doesn't really get warm, you know.
Yeah.
I'll prove it to you. I will go outside and wear shorts. And then
It's May. It's not
all
that
your
cold.
theories will fall
Oh,
away.
it's cold for May. Come off. It's freezing.
It is
out.
a cold May, but it's not that
Yeah.
cold. I could wear shorts in it.
I have
Okay.
I have fixed the technical issue. I'm sorry. I didn't
Excellent.
want to cut
Be
off
the knee.
the
That's
short
what I
story.
say.
Yeah.
Can we hear from you though what you think the song is about? Because I'm always interested.
Oh, well,
in...
so I mean, really, just the let me see. Let me pull that chorus lyric up. Mostly, I'm just focusing my opinion on this. It's just the shape of your will sparring put against mine, and it's just it's like a disagreement, but not a vocalized one in some way. Like it's this kind of like a battle of wills. I don't know. Like maybe I'm just latching on to the one sentence that I fully understand. Yeah.
No, I think that's definitely one of the facets of the song.
Yeah.
It's like the sort of mental gymnastics that go on between like all sorts of different people, different people on the political spectrum, just individuals who you kind of have I mean, me and George have had a few sparring matches, both literally with the boxing gloves and on the chessboard, and it always ends in an interesting way.
Yeah. Do you guys keep?
It's always George on top.
Oh no.
Oh, look. I won't get into too much about how I checkmated him last time, but it was extraordinary.
Yeah,
It was quite. It used quite a lot of powers of the imagination. A little bit like the themes from the song.
like not. Oh, gotcha. I'm sorry. I thought you meant
I'm lying,
the
I'm
way
lying.
he won
we went
chess.
1 for 1. We went
Yeah.
1 for 1. We had a beautiful.
Hang on. I won so well that George made me put it into a computer to see if there was any way he could have won.
That's
And
funny.
the computer said
do that. I did
no.
that. That's true.
That's crazy. The computer couldn't beat Tomer, George.
Honestly, the computer said that was it. Yeah. The computer
But
gave
that
up.
makes it even more impressive that I beat him the first 2 times we played. So
Yeah.
No.
Sometimes you do everything
That is
right
true.
and you still lose, and that's part of becoming a grown up. I think
I am happy to spend.
Tom is very grown up. Then.
Okay, let's play the song.
Awesome. Yeah, song time. Here we
Anymore.
go. Not at that point. Here we go.
You've got to know how I'm feeling. So high, I'm pinned to the ceiling. Comatose, and I'm still grieving now. You've got me screaming in silence, respecting all but compliance, discerning tortured reliance now. It's just the shape of your will sparring put against mine, trying to keep you from my reason, breaking my mind. You know I've always been searching, drawn out and pulling a purse strings. Comatose, always the worst thing now. Paralyzed by your indifference, starving myself through subsistence. Win war with petty persistence now. It's just the shape of your will sparring put against mine, trying to keep you from my reason, breaking my mind. It's just the shape of your will sparring put against mine, trying to keep you from my reason, breaking my mind. It's just the shape of your will sparring put against mine, trying to keep you from my reason, breaking my mind.
Fantastic track. I love every melody in that song is like the catchy part of the song. You know what I mean? But also just there's this almost an ongoing guitar solo that somehow is not detracting from the catchiness or the wholeness of the song, but it's very much like if you wanted to, you could just listen to this beautiful noodling that's kind of going on the whole time. I love it, man. Such a good track.
That's what we call George. He's the ongoing guitar solo. But that was the result of the guitar solo used to be even more prominent in the song, shall we say?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then we had to have a discussion about But I really like that guitar part. It really sticks in my head.
Yeah, definitely. And correct me if I'm wrong, but the music of this song, or maybe the whole EP, was done live, right? Like you guys recorded all of that simultaneously.
Well, that song has a few overdubs. It's got like a little keyboard part that you can hear at some point. And we did the vocals, we did the backing vocals on a different day. But yeah, apart from that, it's tracked live, and that's why we managed to do it in such a short amount of time. We did the whole thing in a day.
Yeah.
And then we had another session where we did overdubs and stuff. But it was probably the quickest turnaround on a record I've ever had, which was great.
We had 3 takes for that song.
Yeah, we did 3 takes, and it's all. I think 1 or 2 of the songs might actually be like a take, and then we took a little bit from the end of another take. But that song's just 1 take all the way through.
That's fantastic. That's so impressive to me. It has the, and even the later tracks. I can't tell you where you may have spliced 2 takes, but like it just has that alive energy that I love. In rock music. I guess.
We had drilled it to hell. Like
yeah.
We'd been in the studio. We'd not had any shows to play or like anything else to do. So we really ironed it out. So
Yeah. It's
had it to a science.
Yeah, it's quality. We've got
one of the sorry, go on.
Oh no, please go. I said it's ridiculous.
Yeah, one of the overdubs in the first half of the song was of someone not muting their microphone from a live stream, sort of pottering about the place.
Yeah, that's
What were you doing,
just
George?
like rustling.
yeah. For a second, I thought you were being serious. I was like, oh wow, what an interesting thing to capture and like utilize. But that was
an artistic expression.
That was
wow. George is still on mute now as he tries to defend himself.
Not very good at this technology business. It hasn't.
He lives on a boat. He's on a boat.
If you need a deck blacking, or if you need to fix a hole in a hole, George is your guy. But
Exactly.
Twitch
Hands on.
and live stream, he doesn't know what to do. Unfortunately.
That's okay. I mean, neither do I. It's okay.
When is this being released, by the way?
Right now, it's simultaneous.
It's live.
It's just happening. Yeah.
No, we're just doing it for fun, to be honest.
I'm not editing.
George,
out
don't
anything.
worry about it. No one's watching.
Yeah.
Still
So
catching up with the 21st century.
honestly, some parts of it you can just leave. You don't have to catch up on everything. Don't make that your goal.
Just really hope they vote out that nasty Reagan fella.
Oh gosh, I heard Robot Reagan's running
alright.
next.
I wouldn't
yeah.
be surprised.
Yeah. But yeah, so lots of kind things being said. Not many questions about the song. People are agreeing that the composition, the performance, the melody, everything's good. I do love that. We've generated our first troll, and we don't have to talk about who it is. But they don't think a Karmatos is a thing. So
It makes I think it's a good question.
yeah, it's a valid question. I think we should get back into
Very, very valid.
Okay,
Yeah.
this is let me take this question. So we knew going into the Parasocials that some people just weren't gonna understand everything we did,
Yeah.
and we had a discussion about it. Should we dumb down to the level of certain people? No, but we decided not to do that. And we decided if we want to combine 2 words, I mean,
Yep.
my career basically jumped off the back of a quadruped, which is also not a real word.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
a Karmatos just feels like it's continuing that proud tradition of making stuff up.
Gibberish.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and it's.
And I would,
Go ahead.
well, I'd also just add that this troll may also be bitter that he hasn't written a song for the album.
Yeah.
Like in hypothetically.
Probably. I was gonna say, like, to me it feels like a very there's this like way of creating things where you have a practice phase where you get good at using reality, and then you have a creating phase where you just let your body, let your mind, let your ideas kind of pour out. And that's where a Karmatos comes from, is this like, I don't care what the language is. I don't care, like if it's an idea and it ends up being a song that I really enjoy, then it's a good idea, I like it.
Yeah, exactly. So F the haters is my motto.
Yeah.
And the other really
calm down,
pretentious
calm
thing
down.
I'll say is Shakespeare invented terms as well.
Hey, that's true. That's true. Whole dictionary is full of them, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe Karmatos will be in the dictionary someday.
I think it's inevitable.
Yeah.
Along with a lot of other words,
Yeah.
including Tominism, which will be the political system of the future.
Yeah, I like it. Just if you're Tom, you're in charge. Is that? Yeah.
Communism on a smaller scale.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about this next song.
That hurts me, George.
The next song, "The Fall," which is, it's crazy how well laid out the EP is, because I thought by the end of the first song, I get the idea of what this is going to be, and then the next one came in and I was like, nope, I have no idea what the rest of these songs are going to be. It threw me. I mean, same quality, same energy, same life, but very much just kind of a different expression of it. So tell me some more about "The Fall," and then we'll listen to it.
Well, it's kind of, I had a few ideas kicking around musically for it, and I remember when I kind of first came to the band with it, and I tried to play them. Actually, well, the riff originally, I played the riff with me and Tom kind of having like a, who's an overly masculine, who's got the hardest riff to play contest.
Yeah.
Which like he played very wicked jazz.
Do this a lot.
I play things that like were just impossible to replicate because they hadn't really been thought out. And this was kind of one of them. But I was convinced these two ideas that I had were gonna merge together into something. And I played it to the band, and I think it took us maybe 2 or 3 rehearsals. But a lot of convincing that there was a light at the end of the tunnel. But finally, with a little help from my friends, we got there. And and then the rest of the song just kind of. I don't know. I think it's like, I think it's about people that are representative for a certain alienation that exists in the UK, and especially a kind of quick decline from having youthful potential due to various ills that life can offer.
Yeah. That's I feel like it would be irresponsible to now go back to the laughing about everything way that I was behaving before. So I'm just gonna be real
Do
somber.
that all the time.
Real somber.
George can do that to you. He
Yeah.
hits you with
I
the
like it.
feels, and
Yeah.
you never recover.
just to laugh at
I think
him
that's why
anyway.
I've compensated with very like over the top comedy as well. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
I especially like, if I'm been drinking as well, like I feel like I can really keep on somber notes, and then
Yeah.
I feel very bad for what I've done and feel like I have to kind of lift up the atmosphere again by saying something completely like a caricature of myself.
Yeah. Yeah. You're the only cure
Funny
for,
'cause,
for you. Yeah.
Tom's normally the one that brings the mood down, but he writes the sort of happy songs.
Yeah. That's
This is just a character assassination happening live on Twitch, and I'm sure that's going to be the most popular element of this live stream. So carry on. Is all I say.
Yeah. Hey.
I will say that this is probably my favorite song on the EP, because I just love the energy. And I think George first handed me the lyrics to this song, and he said, "Yeah, you like it, huh? You get what it's about." And I was like, "Yes, I understand what this song is about." But over the course of playing it through many rehearsals, the meaning got into my head, and now it's like once you see it, you can't unsee it. But even then, I don't think you have to know that to enjoy it. It's got a lot of power and intensity.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah, I was going to say the same about, I mean, I don't know that I had formed an opinion on what this song is probably about. I mean, I've looked over the lyrics while reading it. I didn't have, I'll say I didn't have quite the understanding that you were able to concisely give me. But I knew immediately it was a toe tapper. And it's funny to me, like, how often you can listen to a song for years before the lyrics sink in and you're like, oh, this is so sad, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, let's listen to it. Anybody have any questions or comments during the song? Please drop them in the chat, and we will harass you for them later.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Fantastic track, guys. I feel weird. Oh, I'm talking over sound now. I thought it was just a ring out, you know. Yeah, absolutely great track. Every moment in that song builds perfectly into the next, you know. Like it almost feels like a wonderful idea was brought to the band, and then everyone said, "Oh yeah," and then we're going to do this, and it just kind of made itself after that point, you know, in a really just great way. I have to commend the drum decisions in that breakdown type section, because as a drummer myself, I would have tried to play every crazy punchy rhythm there, but the way the drums and like the rhythm section laid back and all the kind of melodic elements did the wild stuff. Oh my goodness, it's so perfect.
Thanks. Yeah, when listening back to early recordings, it was more of a subtracting parts, because as you said, you sort of want to play everything, but then it was trying to space for everyone else.
Yeah.
Sort of let the song shine and the parts.
Mm-hmm.
As well, it's funny that you mentioned that, because I do remember whenever we used to play it in rehearsals, you know, from like the first time, it was like we were all jamming through it, and then I just do remember kind of like every time we played it after that, I just kind of listened to another thing that was happening around me. You know, like Tom might be chiming in with some kind of like backing vocals, and I'd be like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, that sounds really good. Or, you know, like Alex would be doing like a new thing on the bass, and it was just like, I can't really describe it. Just watching it kind of form around you, of like everyone just kind of really like being. I mean, I feel like it's like that on all the songs, but I guess when you're singing it, it just kind of, you know, like you're just trying to fucking get through the thing. You know, like, when everyone else just, it's beautiful, man. Yeah, it's really lovely.
Yeah, it's great whenever you can. Oh, I'm sorry. Please go ahead.
I was going to say, sometimes when you're in a band, you know less about what's going on than people who are listening externally, because you're right in the eye of the storm. Yeah. And you can't always hear all the nice little parts. So you get into the studio and you're like, oh, that sounds pretty cool. Yeah, it works. Like, I didn't know Alex was doing that. Jesus.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And sometimes it's like, oh no, I didn't realize they were doing that. That's bad. Most of the time most of the time it's really good. And I love that song. It's also the only one on the record which isn't to a click. And we didn't need it, because it stomps along. Something about the rhythm just keeps the pace up.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, that's really cool. I was gonna say, and you know what? I just realized I don't have y'all's like names on the screen, so nobody knows who I'm talking to when I'm talking. But George, wave, do this. Yeah, George. It's I was gonna say it's excellent that you're kind of saying like you were able to relinquish control, like, to the other people in your band to do what they're good at and just focus on like finishing this song and performing this song well.
Well, I think that's been a really, I would argue, a very beautiful thing for kind of all of us. It's,
George, are you still there?
Yeah. Very pregnant pause.
Yeah, I thought he was formulating his word. Oh, he is.
Different direction.
He's back.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry,
George. I'm so sorry, George. I think the stream cut off like part of what you just said. If it's lost forever, that's okay. But can you repeat that?
I was just saying that, like, it's very beautiful how I think within the band everything kind of comes from quite a mutual place, and we all have quite a shared vision, and so I think it's kind of a greater than the sum of its parts type situation over relinquishing control at any particular part. Like, we're kind of all in it for the sake of the Parasocials and creating the most interesting sound that we can. And
fantastic work. We got a very good question. Tomer, have you ever been told you look like Thomas Lennon?
Well, I assume that means like the son of John Lennon, who's actually called. Hang on.
I thought his name was Sean Lennon. Yeah.
I've just seen another comment that should not be read out loud, and is not something that we're gonna get into now. But I'm a big fan of the Beatles, and John Lennon, apart from some of the dodgier things he did,
just let him go. Just let him do it.
Okay,
wait, who's Thomas Lennon?
That's
him.
That's the soft chip, the hot chip singer.
No.
Hang on. Right, hang on. Thomas Lennon. I'm gonna have to Google this.
Yeah. Here, I'll pull one up too, and we'll put it on the screen.
Unless this is the guy you're being compared to.
Wait, do you mean the American actor Thomas Lennon? Because I don't think I look like that guy.
I'm looking now, and
I think he means
he means John Lennon. Don't worry.
he means John Lennon. Come on, that's
obviously.
I wish I had my
Nice
new,
comparison, actually.
very original.
It's
That's the other guy. That's the hot tip.
No,
So, you can see it with the light.
that screen.
Here's something.
Kill that screen.
Get that out of here. Here's something important to know. Bug is not from Earth, and despite the racist connotation to what I'm about to say, all humans look alike to him. You know, like he can't really tell us apart as well. So he's apologized. He's bad with faces. He sees the similarities. Let's pretend he said John Lennon. So
Wait, no, he's just said yes. The actor. I'm disappointed now. Let's just say it was John Lennon.
yeah, let's just say it was John Lennon,
Yeah.
and everyone agrees. You look like
Okay,
John
thank
Lennon,
you.
glasses and all. You've
Thank
got
you.
the
Thank you very
thick
much.
Liverpudlian accent that really gives it away, you know. Like
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
that and all the other
Imagine
stuff.
there's no heaven. It's easy.
now we're all going to get
If
sued.
you try.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tomer,
Parasocials way.
I think we talked about John Lennon the last time you were on this show.
Oh no, we talked about Leonard Cohen,
Yes,
and
and we
He
called
was
his
gonna
kids
sue
terrible
us.
people. Yeah.
But actually,
yeah, we did.
funny enough with Tom and that song Imagine, on the day before lockdown,
Oh yeah.
that happened. Me and Tom were playing a show in a restaurant, and there were only 2 people eating in this restaurant. And about halfway through, one of the bar staff just said, I can't even remember what the context was, but they were just like,
Oh,
it's
it
my
was
friend's birthday."
at the time all the celebrities were doing Imagine. Do you remember this?
I do remember.
Oh, that
Uh,
was it. Yeah.
They said we had to record Imagine for some reason. So
Like
We
we
did.
just kind of like, I brought it over in like a very clanky version, and like, I was playing it all wrong because we were at a restaurant and we had a few drinks, and
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not
yeah.
quite.
the
that's the song.
perfect context to learn a song.
No,
Yeah.
no, I've got this one, but no, it was that was so it does actually have a probably bizarre.
I remember at that gig as well. I was doing a bit of audience banter. It's always hard when there's only like 2 people in the audience. And I was like, so does anyone like the songs of Bob Dylan? And one guy was just like, no.
And like one guy was, of course, one of the 2 guys there, you know.
yeah.
I was like, well, you're not going to enjoy this gig then. And
Yeah.
then I went into, like a Rolling Stone immediately.
That's awesome.
And never stopped playing it.
Did you go sit at his table with
funny
him?
enough-
Yeah.
Yeah, I just played it in front of him. How does it feel?
Yeah.
There was one song we played like after he said this. Like it was one of the other ones we played after he said this, where he goes, "Hey, I really do like that song," and we are just like, "Yeah, no, that's a Bob Dylan right there."
Yeah,
And it's like,
no, we played Don't Think Twice, It's All Right. And then he was like, I love that song.
Hey,
and I was
yeah.
like,
That's honestly, hey, even if you hate Bob Dylan, you can't deny that's a jam. That's a good song.
Yeah,
The-
it's a
my-
good song.
We're here to talk about Parasocials music, but I do want to say one of my favorite lyrics in the universe is "I gave her my heart, but she wanted my soul." In that
is it.
song, yeah, so good,
And
so good.
speaking of soft boy lyrics like that,
Yeah,
Felix is the perfect guy to tell you more about those sort of heartfelt romantic lyrics. 'cause
I do believe our dear friend Felix wrote the next song on the EP. Felix, correct? Juliet
Well, you
or
set him up.
Julia? Julie? Sorry.
Partially correct. Yeah.
Yeah, well, let's talk some more about that. And also, I was going to say, while all 3 of the first tracks on this album are fantastic, whenever I got to this third one, Julie, which I just called Juliet and Julia before getting to the right name. I'm sorry, reading and talking at the same time, guys. Forgive me, I'm American. But yeah, Julie.
okay.
When I got to this one, I was all like, "Oh, this may be the single." Like, I can absolutely imagine this one like as just a song on the radio everywhere I go for 3 years until I hate it. You know what I mean? Like that kind of song. So please tell me, not that I hate it now, but please do tell me some more
You
about
will,
it.
don't worry. We'll do it already.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is the kind of core of this song was banging around for quite a few years. In a really crappy kind of punk band that I was in like 3 or 4 years ago, like one of those like first bands where no one can actually play any instruments and it's more just about
Yeah.
really drunk. And
Like the Parasocials.
fucked up and
Yeah.
making noise. Yeah, kind of like the Parasocials. Yeah.
The Parasocials are completely
but-
modeled after that band.
We were. I mean,
yeah.
Chinsu were the greatest band that never lived. But it was the only kind of thing that's survived that couple of months of mess. But it's just jamming around, and a friend of mine, a kind of real Morrissey kind of angsty character with a leather jacket and always had a cigarette in his hand. So I was just jamming around with those chords.
He's talking about himself.
Yeah.
He's talking about himself.
This is
in the third
my
person again.
credit phase.
I like the idea of a
so I was just
band.
jamming around.
I like the idea of a band. No matter where they go, no matter what season it is, one is wearing a leather jacket and the other is always wearing shorts. It's just like
Yeah.
one of you are going to perish. You know.
I mean, we're already in an argument about who gets to wear the leather jacket in the Parasocials.
Yeah.
Currently,
The jacket and shorts.
So, Felix, this song is based. It's based on a true story, isn't it? About a girl you knew
No.
called Julie, and something bad happened to her, right?
This is the urban legend, but that I'm going to dismiss once and for all. So the truth is, and this may result in me getting sued in a few years' time, but I didn't write the chorus, so I was just jamming around the chords, and this friend of mine, Mr. Darcy, he just started kind of off drunkenly rambling on about Julie, if you knew me, all this kind of stuff. So he came up with the chorus and the kind of chorus melody, and then it was a few years later I kind of went back to it and wrote some verses and kind of shaped it up, and then recorded it for the first EP that I did with Toma, the kind of stompy kind of folk song. And it was also Toma who suggested when we started the band that we like trying to reform it into like a rocker or kind of
Yeah.
reform it into a so we had to chop it up a lot because it was quite long and a little bit fuzzy around the edges, so we kind of chopped and changed it and pulled it apart and put it back together.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good fun. It was like I say, it's a weird one for me because I didn't write the chorus or like the crux of it. It's always felt like a cover for me. Like
yeah.
I feel like I'm doing a cover when I'm doing it, but that kind of allows me to interpret it in different ways, and I don't
A little bit of distance
it has
between
like
you
a
and it.
strong. Yeah, it has like a strong nostalgic value for me because it was that time and that place. But like I say, it doesn't kind of have like a, it's not like some really personal, emotional song, even though other people try and interpret it that way.
That's awesome.
They're
Yeah. Yeah. So we before we play the song, I want you to know that Bug represents Mr. Darcy's legal team. And they,
Oh shit!
yeah, so it's over.
You know what? The irony is that my friend is actually he studied law, so he's
Oh,
actually
no.
a qualified lawyer.
If he wanted to sue you about it, he
will sue me.
could. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So if you're watching this, remember the good times.
Yeah.
And how about 5%?
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. All right, I'm gonna hit play on this, and we will we'll talk about it on the other side.
Looking down from up on your sunny cliff top, it's the call of the void that makes you want to jump off. And you kid yourself to thinking you get caught. But Julie, if you knew me at all, you'd run away. is where love decays day by day. And truly, if you knew me at all, you'd run away. And truly, if you knew me truly, you wouldn't stay. Day by day.
Ah, that fantastic parting like note on the guitar almost feels dissonant, you know. I love it. I could never drive my car listening to that song because I would crash it doing mostly this with my hands with all those backing vocals. I love it, man. It's such a good track.
Yeah,
cheers,
we love
man.
that one. It's actually a slightly different lineup on the instrumentation, isn't it?
Yeah.
George plays bass on that one, and
Oh.
Felix plays the guitar. That's generally we do it like that. If the person who's singing gets to play guitar,
Yeah, that makes sense. I've only played a little bit of bass just to kind of track on my own stuff, but it's way harder to think about vocal melodies while playing like the individual notes on a bass. So, I mean, obviously
Yeah.
not for people who do it more frequently, I'm sure, but yeah,
Well,
like,
I mean, I'd started 3 months before the band, so
geez Louise,
It's,
that's crazy. Yeah.
it was a steep learning curve. but we
Yeah,
got there.
yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. Have you become like more comfortable with bass? Like, does it feel? Do you think a little more naturally with bass, or do you still kind of think in terms of guitar?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely still have my limitations, but I'm kind of comfortable within like what I can do now.
Yeah.
And I think that's good as well because George and Tom and Rob as well, have so many like mad flourishes and so much kind of just energy and
Yeah,
skill
yeah.
spilling over. I think if I was also just like fucking Jaco Pastorius on the bass or
Yeah.
something, it would be too much. So that's what I tell myself anyway. Like I'm
Yeah.
just keeping it simple. I'm just Kim Deal or whatever. Just
Well,
I
me
keeping it.
and Tom were even saying like a couple of days ago, noticeably how much Felix had, like how far Felix had come since. I mean, obviously, he only started, but like really, I think the way we're playing, he was solid in the album, but the way we're playing at the moment, or solid in the EP, but the way we're playing at the moment, he's just come into his own. You can really hear it in the tightness of the band. Like,
Yeah,
I'm so
yeah.
excited for us all to play live, but like really, I'm incredibly impressed. Like very proud to be working with as a fellow musician.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
leaps
think
and
I
bounds,
think
man.
I think what he does works really well as well. I think you need a straight man who's gonna like keep the backbone going.
Yep. Yeah.
But it's also starting to get there with little flourishes and stuff like that as well. I think we've all got better though. It's like a baptism by fire. Like
yeah.
I played a lot, but like singing and playing guitar is a lot harder because you have to, especially if you like switching between rhythm and lead and stuff, and even just like volume control when you're playing quite loud. I don't think that's something they teach people a lot of the time. But like using a good electric guitar and playing through a very loud amp requires a certain level of control that you don't get if you're just playing at quieter volumes or if you're just playing acoustic guitar, for instance. Me and George were probably like mainly acoustic guitar players when we met. And acoustic guitar is difficult in its own right, but it's also much easier to control the dynamic of what's going on.
Big time.
And you don't have to worry about feedback, squeals, or effects, or getting a great tone. It's just got a good tone generally.
Acoustic
So,
guitar is almost a percussion instrument compared to electric guitar. You know, there's a lot of
yeah, exactly.
attack and control. I was gonna say also like just how significant it is that like bass guitar or upright bass or whatever is often considered part of the rhythm section, even though it's not technically a percussion instrument. And I think you play it that way so perfectly that two guitars can be going kind of wild at the same time and nothing feels like it's falling apart. It's all still very listenable and very enjoyable. I think that's essential and really I guess like is one element that highlights the quality of y'all's music together. It is that like ability to stay solid between drums and bass, and then everything else that happens, that can flourish and embellish all at once because the foundation of the song has been finely crafted and rooted in time.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. But I think for the most part, folks are just kind of blown away that was a for the most part live recording, other than maybe some backup vocals, right? That's what you said.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think maybe that's the one where we stitched in an ending from another take. I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, the ending was from the first take, and I remember when we first did that ending, I was like, "Oh, that was a bit long." I wasn't that into it, and then the guys in the studio, the engineers, were like, "Guys, that ending was really cool," and then we went back and listened to it. And I think we tried to make it even cooler on the second take, which I think is the one we kept. But then we listened and we're like, no, that original ending just had some magic that you can't get back. So I think it's all one take apart from the ending. But don't tell anyone apart from the people who are listening already.
Yep.
Let's keep it between us, guys.
I've already forgotten what you said, so I won't tell anybody.
Oh,
Next song is kind of again when this song started, Rebel Yell, which is the next one. I thought, man, every single track is different, yet it carries like the same character, the same element. Like I can hear the people who are making it in it, even though none of them follow like a templatized version of song making. But yeah, Rebel Yell. Who wants to tell me some more about Rebel Yell before we get it started?
George.
Well, I've been listening a lot to one of those Rolling Stones songs that no one should ever listen to anymore because it belongs and exists in the 60s.
Yeah.
And is a kind of watermark of the general misgiven attitudes at the time. But Under My Thumb, musically, has a special thing going on, musically speaking, strictly. And yeah, I've just been really hooked on that tune. Like there was something about the way they were kind of always making you feel like you were going to a certain place, but bringing it back to like that kind of 3-chord minor descending structure. And yeah, I started to kind of write this really terrible song that I kind of hated out of it. And then we had when Christmas was cancelled, we had a kind of solidarity of us that were in London, just kind of giving each other love and company where we couldn't see our families. And we all played each other a couple of songs there, and that was one of the ones that I played. And I remember actually then playing it there and being like, oh, like this has got something. Maybe maybe Felix can do something with this. I brought it to Felix, and then he just took it into another dimension, really. And then we come up with this thing that we thought was really cool, like a kind of conversation between young and old. And obviously there have been a lot of stuff happening with the BLM protests that we obviously were standing behind, and just the kind of sensation of being stampeded by horses while taking the knee. It's quite a unique thing. So we kind of took that and ran with it. And then we had this relatively finished thing, made it to Tom, and Tom was like it, but that it's missing a certain dimension. And me and Felix were just sat in a room after the rehearsal, just being like, we've got to take it to this next dimension. I know, a key change will fix it. And then we played Toma again with the key change, and then the thing was like, he's like, I like the first melody. And we kind of came on this compromise. So it's gone for a lot of mutations since its genesis. But I think most of the credit really, I think, is owed to Felix. I just kind of came up with the starting idea.
I think Felix and George did a great job with this song, and there's a wonderful back and forth story that go. And again, like once you get what it's about, it just makes listening to the song even more fun. But
Yeah.
I guess I am the guy that like you bring me your song, your baby, and I go, no, we got to chop this arm off. We've got to redesign this. We got to, you know. And I remember that when they went away and did the key change thing, and I had to make the argument that you needed the key change over here, but you needed the original thing here so that the key change had context. And we argued about it quite a lot, but I think the end results speak for themselves. I think it sounds really good.
Yeah. Well, so was the arguing just about like from a distance at this point right now? Was the arguing that you had about it because it was your idea and you like wanted to protect your baby idea, you know what I mean? Or was it because you just genuinely didn't like the way that change sounded at that time?
How do you mean? Do you mean like with the idea of? Well, I just why we I think it was because when you've been working on something for a while, it's quite hard to hear what it sounds like genuinely with actual ears. So when you play it to someone else and they perhaps aren't because you're so in that world, like when they're coming seeing it from the outside and being like, I like what's going on here, but this could take it to another level. There's that you have a certain level of it's not even I think any pride or anything. You just kind of have real blinkers on with it, and you're just kind of like, well, no, this is how it is now. It's kind of like someone's asking you to kind of redesign Mount Rushmore or something. You're just like, well, it looks like that. We know it looks like that. Everyone knows it looks like that. All right, get with the program. You're like, well, actually, no, there's improvements that can always be made.
I actually have some important thing. I have some ideas.
To call it on the improvements. Oh yeah.
No, I have some ideas for how we could redesign Mount Rushmore.
Yeah. Oh, hey, John Lennon's face. You want to put John Lennon's face on Mount Rushmore?
President Toma. I think it needs to happen. Right.
Yeah, definitely. Honestly, man, at this point, I would vote for you just because I like this album. I have no idea what you believe politically, but
Okay, I'll take that vote
I'll
run with it.
I'm down. Yeah. Awesome. Let's listen to Rebel Yell, and again, we'll kind of be in the chat if anybody wants to know more about it or make comments. We are here to talk with each other, but also with you folks listening. So let's start.
Well, I guess you had to see it for yourself. Dying hour. You were raised by righteousness and spoiled by wealth. That wine you sip has turned your tongue to sour. We were led along a razor's edge. We went for glory but got pissed instead. Oh, I was there, I heard the rebel yell. Oh, I was there, I heard the rebel yell. Generation horses, a sundown maybe, by drunk sources, set up and torture. Something will save me. When my heartbeat was regular, I could sustain. It seems that you fell from grace with age. When my bones were brave, I held the flame. You took the gentle night, but not the rage. I was there. was there, I heard the rebel yell. I 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 was there, now there's nothing more to tell.
Gotta love a song that ends with a spaceship solo.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic, man.
Brave creative choice.
Yeah, yeah.
That was actually because at the end of that was, I think, one of the last things recorded, and by the end of it we had all quite literally taken off. We'd
Yeah.
become part of the astral plane, and
Yeah.
we were licking the
Transcended
bottom of
into the
Jupiter.
Yeah, I'm sending this
And then
song
woke up
back
at the M14.
to.
Who said that? I can't.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Is there someone here with me now? Yeah. Yeah, that's such a good track, and honestly, like I don't possess the ear to know for sure when I've heard a key change, but like I absolutely can hear when energy has been found. You know what I mean? and that like ending, like the way all the voices come in, the way it absolutely seems to change, like the audible space that it's in into this cataclysmic place, you know. Like I love it, man. It's a really good ending. Good track.
It's
all
classic,
throughout.
classic boy band trick. Like take that.
Yeah, exactly the same.
Change. Everyone joins in. It's
Yeah,
a lot of
Yeah.
our inspiration from
I
kind of scene.
I know when my friend Ed, who is the producer and mixer of this EP, was mixing this song, he would send me bits of vocal isolated just because it was making him laugh.
yeah,
And
yeah.
one of them was my very shouty, very high vocal at the end, which I'm not going to recreate now because
Yeah.
like it's, you know, those notes you can hit but you can't really hit them, but you
Mhm.
have to like scream. There was a lot of that going on.
Yeah.
In that vocal booth. But if you bury it in the mix, it actually sounds quite good. If you solo it
yeah,
and send it to me, it sounds terrible. But,
Yeah.
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 Might even take it as a death threat.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, okay, here's the final mix. It's just that Tomer's voice doing that on every song somehow, you know.
I was there. Yeah, it's a bit
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
That's it's funny how just the use of like studio production abilities, like you can absolutely make use of doing things with your voice that you can't actually do, you know, and not in like the auto-tune Melodyne kind of way. That's super useful too. But I just
Yeah.
mean like you can get super close to a microphone and whisper and just layer that in the right way, and it's like, hey, that's powerful. That's present, you know, somehow.
Well, yeah, live that would not work unless you had a very obedient audience that was going to drop their level to you.
Yeah.
But
Definitely. So yeah. Also, yeah. Bug pointed out that kind of spoken word versus melodic portion in kind of like the post-chorus, maybe I guess, or the chorus itself. I don't know. Structure is weird to me, but it's cool too because I'm looking at the lyrics here on Bandcamp where anybody can go and exchange currency for these recordings, and like the lyrics are laid out in a way that makes it harder to understand what is being said by those dual vocals. I mean, obviously, how else are you going to put two layers of vocals on?
that's me. I did that because no one sent me any lyrics for this song. Well, Felix sent me his lyrics, and I was thinking, how do I do this bit? Because they're saying it at the same time.
Yeah.
So I just sort of put George in the middle of, I don't know.
It works. It works. Well, once you decipher it, it works
Yeah.
for me. That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
Musically, it comes off wonderfully. written, I was deeply confused for a few moments there. But go ahead.
I know, that's all part of the charm, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, if the more confusing it is, the more likely you are to listen back and try and figure it out.
That's
or
true.
never listen to it again. But
Yeah.
that's a gamble I'm willing to take.
Yeah.
So we had a fun moment with this when because we went through a bit of the vocals at my house together, and George is doing the spoken word aggressive rap style over the top of Felix's softer melody. But George doesn't write these down. He comes up with new ones every time. And we were going through the alternate takes. It's just like you'd pick one and he'd be going, bring down the system with blah, 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 blah. And then the next one is like, I will never do the thing you want me to do. He's just like a rent-a-mouth. He can come up with non-stop political slogans.
That's awesome.
It's an amazing skill. Yeah. I'm really impressed by it.
You're like a young Alex Jones.
Have you guys seen the those Prison Planet or whatever it's called? It's like a death metal guitarist, and he samples Alex Jones like as the vocals on his metal.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's perfect.
Is it? He does one. I saw him do one for someone in particular which just blew me away. Oh, it was the church, the American Televangelists.
Oh yeah. I've seen one of those too.
That was I would listen to that as a song. That was like that moved me. I felt like emotional at the end of that. I thought that was really impressive stuff going on.
Yeah,
beautiful.
But I say all that to say, Felix, if you ever need like a backup project, you've got that ready now. Just put some death metal riffs and blast beats over just whatever gibberish you want to talk about, and put it on the internet. Yeah. But
how do you know about that? No, we're not actually recording.
Every project. I know about every project. That's the thing. Most people when they're artists, they work with sound or clay or paint. I just work with the names of projects and the concepts. I start 100 bands every day, and I never have to start any music. Works.
You're connected to the collective unconscious of all bands everywhere. I like it.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. I'm in every band. They don't know it, but I'm in every band.
It proves that you're not.
Well, but I mean, it proves that they're not in my band.
Oh my God, we're getting surreal now. I'm starting to not understand things anymore.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Sometimes I convince myself I'm funny, and then I just start talking, and then I realize I'm not very funny. But
no, it's just a bit like when Rob gave us those edibles before that we recorded the EP.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're on like this.
It was a cosmic experience.
That's awesome. So the next track, Thorn, starts with the line "You planted seeds," which I'm just going to assume it's a reference to the cosmic enjoyment of edibles before you recorded the album.
They were the seeds for the edibles.
You've nailed it in the first take. That's it. That's the song. You've ruined it now.
Man, ruined it. Well, help me redeem myself. Tell me some more about Thorns, and let's listen to it.
Okay, so
anyone.
Rebel Yell was kind of a collaboration between Felix and George, and this song is a collaboration between me and George. I think we pretty much hashed it out, and I had this riff for a while, and who did we lose? Oh no,
something happened.
George's
dramatic exit.
He pops in and out.
He wasn't happy.
He's phased back to
what I said.
Yeah,
I need more credit.
He's phased back to the transcendental plane, and he had to come back again.
Exactly. So me and George wrote this, and I think George wrote most of the first verse, and then I took it away and finished it off, and we decided to sing it together as well. So I sing this verse section. Mm-hmm. And then George sings or shouts the chorus with me. And then we decided to get a bit experimental. I think this song goes somewhere quite interesting that you don't expect it to go to.
Yeah.
And we weren't sure how well this was going to work. Maybe it still doesn't work. I think some people would absolutely hate what happens. But equally, some people might really love it.
Yeah.
So... and I'm one of those people.
Yeah, that's good. If you love the song, then you know it's a good song, right? Well, maybe not.
That's my motto, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, awesome. Let's listen to it, and then we'll talk about it a little more.
time, color blind, and I counted softly. You never saw me holding the shears. False. I'd rather be in your side, or anywhere but here. Now that we've got what we want, thoughts possess you. Empty cerveza, a finger on the line, and I whispered words with sleep I never saw. You holding back the tears. False. I'd rather be in your side, or anywhere but here.
Scoring the seas for signs of meaning, amongst the waves where ships they drift. Between the wake there sits a feeling, and underwater lies the rip. I've always had trouble breathing. Send 6 dots, dash 3 to 9 to watch the sun and our concerns reveal a stage behind the sky. We're not to blame for all the heartache. We're aliens from another year. And if you shout for long enough, perhaps our voices disappear. I'd rather be. I'd rather be anywhere but here.
Sown your dance in my mind, a sharp out of focus, a moment trapped in time, and I counted softly. I never saw the daggers and the spears. False. I'd rather be in your side, or anywhere but here. 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 Anywhere but
The spaceship had to come back sometime. Man, that's great. So I want to know specifically right away, was that kind of spoken word, beat poetry section, was that all done as part of the live recording? Was that whole delivery, that whole recital? I don't even know what you call it.
I would ask George to answer that, but he seems
seems
frozen
to be-
in time.
A bit like
George,
the
you're
lyrics of
muted.
the song.
Yeah.
I bet he's just really contemplating the question.
I quite like that he can't move now.
Well,
I
one
like
day
him in
the
that.
hang of this internet
It's okay, man.
sensation that's grabbing the kids. But no, actually, I'd kind of done that. That was we did that as an overdub on the day that we recorded them all. But it was kind of very much inspired by do you know the Phoebe Bridgers song "I Know the End"?
Yeah.
She's kind of like dealing with a lot of these.
Yeah.
It's a phenomenal song. Like she's
Really
dealing with a lot of these themes of kind of like alienation and like
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
like the the alienation gets taken to a very literal place, and that really had big impact on me, I think. And I think I speak for the band. I can extend that from.
I remember when Tony
No,
showed us that song,
no.
But genuinely,
Don't tar me with the
like,
Phoebe Bridgers brush.
That is genuinely, it would, like, you know, it was inspired by that Phoebe Bridgers song, that kind of middle bit, and I think the rest of the song as well kind of deals with these themes of kind of alienation, uncertainty. And I think there's always a kind of like parallel between like what's happening between like you interpersonally and in the bigger sphere of things. So I kind of wanted that spoken wordy bit to kind of take to a real kind of visceral place, and then, you know, you're shouting, it's got that kind of if we shout for long enough, perhaps our voices disappear, and then it kind of comes back with wanting to be taken away. Yeah,
I love how the delivery kind of I don't know, the words are moving in like this kind of tense direction, but also the delivery is building on that as well, like as it goes. But I think my favorite line in the whole song is "We're aliens from another year." Like that's just such a standalone, like as just a thing, a line to think about. Like I could think about that for a long time. I really like that. But yeah, great stuff.
No, it's great.
I think that
Jim Morrison shit.
And George actually in rehearsal up until like I don't think he ever did that poem until we got to the studio. Apart from that, he was just making up a new rap that was often about the Conservative government in Britain and what he thinks of them, which is very positive. No, joking.
Yeah.
It was basically expletive discussions of British politics. But and then he was like, "Oh no!" Like a week before the studio, I've completely rewritten this. I've got a whole new thing, and I was like, "Wow, a whole new story, a whole new metaphor." And it fits really well with the rest of the song. I really like that section.
Yeah, no, it's a really great delivery as well. I remember I was in we were in the control room. George was in the booth doing that bit, and when you got to like the penultimate line, and you know, it sounds like he's shouting at the top of his lungs, and we kind of all turned to each other like, he's peaked a bit too early. He's not going to be able to shout louder than this. And somehow you just the last line is just like from the depths of hell.
Yeah.
I mean, just like, oh, fair enough. I
almost said like the chorus itself, the thorns line, that chorus portion, you could like copy paste that just into like a metal song, you know, and like it would still fit, like it would still work just fine. But again, like at the end of that bridge, that you know poet section, it was like, oh man, what's gonna happen after this? You know, I agree. It was quite surprising.
I think it's weird how heavy metal the song came out when and this is something I like to do as well, is that the chords for that chorus are actually quite, as I've described in the chat, quite jazzy. Like, but you wouldn't think that unless you sat down and worked it out, and you go, oh, that's actually quite like I say, it's stolen from an old jazz composer called Tad Dameron, who wrote a song called Ladybird, which has it in. But Tad Dameron, I don't know whether he would approve of what we've done with his sequence, but maybe he'd have been into it. I don't know, but it's cool how if you add like harmony is one thing, but how you deliver harmony affects more about how people actually interpret it. Like and it sounds heavy metal, so you kind of interpret it as heavy metal.
Yeah, it's definitely. It's also it's funny too. Like I've never heard something that I would call like funk metal, but like there's a movement to that chorus that feels very funky, but there's an intensity to it that feels very heavy metal. So I don't know. It's a really wonderful little handshake to observe.
Quite big Rick James Brown kind of fans. Yeah. That's something that we really like. We do play some of that stuff in rehearsals, so I'm not even slightly equating what we're doing to that level of funk here. Like, but no. You know,
but it's part of your shared vernacular. Yeah, that's cool, man.
It's really beautiful that you see that in it. I hope one day to aspire to a James Brown tribute band, and this is maybe a stepping stone along that.
I mean, you've got to. Unfortunately, like I don't think James Browns are made. They're born, you know. So like, no matter how much you practice, you got to find a James Brown to be in the front of your band.
Now, T-Rex, you don't realize this, especially because his screen is frozen. But you just broke George's heart when you told him you couldn't be James Brown. He's been planning for years.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, I've been very wrong before, and I'll be very wrong again. So, I believe in you. I believe pretty much whatever you want to do, you could probably do it. I just think there's a certain like level of showman in a James Brown. You know, like.
And well, all I'll say is you haven't yet seen me in spandex across the.
Wasn't it James Brown at the end of the
dance floor?
At the end of the show, he would just like collapse, and a guy would put a cape on him and like help him off the stage. Like
at the end of every rehearsal.
We do
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
That's awesome. So there's one more track left on the EP. I want to listen to it, and I haven't heard this one yet because the link you sent me was a SoundCloud like private link, and this is the first I'm hearing it on the Bandcamp. So tell me something about Karma Toast Part 2. And I'm looking at the lyrics now on the Bandcamp page, so my anticipation is absolutely through the roof. So tell me something about it.
Oh yeah, I've put a few little hidden jokes in the lyrics, by the way. If anyone wants to have a bit of a joke, some of it at Felix's expense, then yeah, there's a few Easter eggs there. But basically, we worked on Karma Toast Part 2 mainly as a thing to do live, right? We would play the song first, and then at the end of our set, I'd do a little speech to a massive crowd, obviously, that's like cheering for us.
Yeah.
And then I would say, in a James Brown fashion, hit me. And then the band would kick in to Karma Toast. And it was just a chance for me and George to show off and try and outcompete each other. And it turned into a little instrumental number. And I think it works nicely at the end of the EP because Horns ends on such a dramatic note that I like that, but it's also nice to cheer people up a bit, just a little bit before the end.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's super important live, but also like on an album, you know, to place your tracks in like a specific order. And I feel the same way. Like you have a responsibility to people who you just drug through the dumps with like a specific type of sound to just like put something happy after that, like help them transition back into real life from what you just did. Yeah, that's cool. That's thoughtful, and I'm excited to listen to it. You guys feel free if there's anything else you'd like to say, we can say it, and we'll probably wrap up after this.
Excellent.
Yeah, all right, I'm hitting play.
Thank you. We've been the Parasocials, yeah? You ready, boys? Hit me!
Yes, absolutely fantastic, guys. There's so many like microscopic things happening in just that 2.5 minutes that I want to talk about. Like there's this like waka waka what that happens on the guitar every now and then that I'm just in love with. But then also like early on, like one of the guitar solos does like my favorite thing to hear like in a jazz album, when the solo just sounds like somebody trying to figure out the solo. It's like you know. There's like one of those early on. Oh my gosh, I love it so much, you guys. Like everything about this EP, your band, your style, just your openness, your personification of this fantastic like open space creative force that you guys have become as a band. Like I absolutely love it. I want more people to hear it. I want more people to to hear it, not only to enjoy what you have created and who you are, but to say like, this seems like fun. This seems like freedom and not hard labor, you know? Like it's absolutely difficult, but it's a joy to work on music. And I want more people to hear your music because it sounds like joy, and I love it. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Thank you. That's really kind.
Very touching.
You know, it was all written down. I scripted it.
We'll slip you the 20 after.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, perfect. Send me some of those thorn seeds, man. Just that's all I need. But I did also want to say, everybody listening, thank you guys so much for listening in. I don't want to rush the Parasocials away, but I'll be sure to upload this whole thing to YouTube, and I'll be sure to share every link you guys have available, your Instagram, your Bandcamp, your SoundCloud, whatever it is you guys want to be associated with this recording. I'll be sure it's available to anybody who's looking for it. Thank you for dropping your Bandcamp in the that is your Bandcamp. Yeah, in the chat here. Yeah, that's pretty much the end of me and what I had to say. The end of me. Fare thee well. But no, if you guys had any parting words, shout outs to specific places to find you, or things coming up, releases, whatever, this is your time.
Well, Rob has his OnlyFans page. Not Rob.
Only Rob.
Yeah. And
Yeah, the boys do get features in it though, so
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's
can see
nothing you
them on
won't
there.
do with a drumstick, so yeah, check it out.
Which is also the name
Besides
of
my
the
OnlyFans stuff, there's the link to our Bandcamp that I just sent into the chat, or you can check us out on Instagram at. That's a good question. I think we are the _Parasocials. Good luck.
Could be right.
Yeah.
Be good if we knew.
I'll say
yeah,
this.
if you just type in the Parasocials Instagram.
You can enjoy you can enjoy the Parasocials Instagram without knowing you're a band. It's kind of a crazy thing going on all the time, I feel like. So I enjoy that kind of content too. I enjoy the lighthearted nature of your engagement with the world around you.
Yeah. Well, that's all Tomer and George. So props to them. For
Good
that.
work, guys. Yeah.
Kind of charging the helm there.
Yeah. Awesome.
Got to keep it light-hearted, otherwise the heads are going to start rolling. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, big time. Well, guys, thank you so much. I'm going to end this stream. We can wave to the wonderful people. I'm gonna start putting my my what does a radio guy call it whenever he ends his radio show and he has like a catchphrase? A catchphrase? Is that what I'm looking for? Yeah.
That's sign off.
A jingle.
A sign off. A jingle. A sign off.
Sign off.
Whatever.
No, yeah, sign off.
Yeah, thank you all for listening. Please, until we share time again, stay courageous, stay curious, and stay creative. Bye.
oh, that's a spicy.